The latest scandal to rock Britain isn't about policy, diplomacy, or even the NHS. No, it's far graver. It's about queuing and the failure to queue in Madeira. Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, dared to disrupt that British pastime of queuing by skipping a 3-hour-long queue for a toboggan ride. The Monte Sledges, a 2-kilometre wicker descent that has turned a holiday whimsy into a national disgrace. And the imagery is almost Dickensian. Sunburnt Brits clutching pre-booked tickets, perspiring in the quiet resolve, suddenly halted by the presence of the Prime Minister and his family, ushered forward by his security detail, leaving cries of "get to the back of the queue" echoing down the cobbled street. In Britain, skipping a queue isn't just a faux pas, it's practically treason, and it's a career destroyer, as we saw in the 2022 queuegate story, when Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield bypassed the throngs to pay respect to the late Queen Elizabeth, and their defence, they were working. Starmer, by contrast, has no excuse unless he was woking. Maybe he was woking. The dubious rationale of security concerns simply don't fit when the Prime Minister is on holiday. He's no longer Prime Minister at this moment, or is he? Is he Prime Minister? Does he have prime ministerial duties while he's sunning himself in Madeira? I suppose you have to talk to Dominic Raab to find out what exactly is the difference between a holidaying Prime Minister and a working Prime Minister, or a woking Prime Minister. And that's just the twist. Just as Holly and Phil's antics prompted petitions and parliamentary grumbles, Starmer's toboggan debacle will ignite public outrage, memes, and invariably a comparison to Schofield, and a tumble of his approval ratings, unless they can't go any further down. It's like somebody said online that sled's going down faster than Keir's popularity. Some people have insisted that the Prime Minister cannot be left to mingle vulnerably in a queue of cruise ship holidaymakers armed with selfie sticks. Others argue that true leadership involves waiting with the people, maybe soaking up a few more votes, talking with the people, sweat-soaked and slightly sunburnt. If Churchill could endure blitz sirens, Starmer could brave a Madeiran queue. But this is our complicated relationship with privilege. Yes, he's the Prime Minister. Yes, he has security concerns. But it's a hard pill to swallow, watching someone push in after you've been queuing for hours, and rightly so, if you've got a pre-booked ticket. If the British excel at anything, it should be queuing, and Starmer should take the lead, demonstrate by example. Are his security people saying that the queue itself isn't safe? If the queue itself isn't safe, then hurtling down some sort of slide on a toboggan isn't safe either. There's an element of hilarity to this story, but there are also political implications. And for a man who champions fairness and equality, this perceived elitism risks alienating those voters who prize authenticity. A Prime Minister who skips queues doesn't scream man of the people. It screams do as I say, not as I sledge. And Starmer's aides might argue that this is a storm in a toboggan, but public perception matters. And from the Schofield fallout to the whispers of hypocrisy, queue scandals stick. Starmer will need to navigate this with the grace of a Monte Sledge descent, preferably without flipping over. So what can Keir learn? Leadership like queuing requires patience, humility, and an understanding of optics. If I were Keir Starmer at this moment now, I would find a queue that I could join and be photographed in it, talking amiably with the people waiting in that queue, because there isn't another way in which he can redeem himself. This is a major publicity error, a major a major problem that will, all you have to do is look back at the Schofield story and see that is the point at which that star began to wane. And I don't, unless Keir Starmer can get into a queue quickly, I don't see this as a recovery position at all.